Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, from wherever you might be joining me from today. Thank you and welcome to Covered Call Option Strategy video presentation. My name is Dr. Samuel Adebayo and I got you covered. Before we go into today's presentation, kindly subscribe to this channel. Also share this video and smash that like button. Your likes will enable this video to be recommended to people like you that want to benefit from this great content. Have you ever imagined an option strategy that is a win-win situation? The upside for covered call option strategy completely outweighs the downsides, and we are going to get into it. In today's presentation, we are going to discuss the meaning of covered call option, how to write a covered call option, the upsides of engaging in covered call option writing, and also the downsides. And the question that most people will probably ask is, what is actually a covered call? Covered call option is a strategy that involves a contract between two people, that is, the buyer and the seller. The seller gives the buyer the right to sell 100 shares of underlying stock that he already owns at a set price, which is the strike price, and set time, which is the expiration. Just like I've mentioned in my previous video, that for any kind of option trading, that will always be a strike price and the expiration as well. How then do you write a covered call? Before you can write a covered call, the seller must already own 100 shares of stock of that asset before writing that covered call. Okay, so I am going to use this illustration on my screen to illustrate how covered call option goes down. Let's pretend that I'm the seller on the right side here and the buyer is on the left corner. As the seller, I am giving the buyer the option to buy a share of Nikola stock from me at $1.15, which is the strike price, in 30 days, which is the expiration, at a premium of 5 cents. Okay, because this contract is not for free. So I am giving the buyer the option to buy from me the stock of Nikola at $1.15, which is the strike price, in 30 days, which is the expiration, at a premium of 5 cents. And in our previous video, I've explained that for any contract in option writing, there is 100 underlying shares of stock in that one contract. So you can see 5 cents is 5 cents times 100, which is $5. So that would be the premium. And know that the current price of Nikola is $1. So let's now look, how can we make money in this scenario? So let's look into that. How to make money. There are 3 ways you can make money in this scenario that I just painted. Number 1, when the price of stock goes up. Yes, when the price of the stock of Nikola goes up, the value of your asset goes up, and then you will make money that way. Another way is dividend income. The essence of buying shares of a company is to earn, dividends from that shares. Okay, so that's the second way. And the third is to write a covered call. And that is what we are going to talk about today, writing a covered call. So I am going to use these 4 scenarios on my screen to illustrate actually both the upside and downside of engaging in covered call writing. So scenario A is the price of the asset drops to 90 cents. Know that the current price of Nikola is $1, but now the price dropped to 90 cents. B, the stock price is the same as $1. Okay, that means the closing price of the stock is the same as the share price, which is equal to $1. C, the price rose to $1.10, and D, price rose to $1.30. And you can see from the diagram on the left here, you have the share price is still $1 and the strike price is $1.15. You have the break-even point right here. Okay, so let's get into it. So we are now going to look into scenario A. The price of the asset drops to 90 cents. So when the price dropped to 90 cents, let's see what happens. And you can see from the diagram here, this is the share price, and it dropped by 10 cents to 90 cents. Okay, so the buyer will not exercise his option and the contract will go worthless. And the reason being, why would the contract want to buy from me at $1 when he can go to the market and buy for 90 cents? That would be ludicrous. So the buyer will not buy for $1.15 when the stock is 90 cents in the market. So the stock is selling for $1 in the market. Okay, the buyer loses the 5-cent premium that he paid to the seller, and the seller keeps the 5-cent premium. The stock value is reduced by 10 cents. You can see the purchase price was $1, and the price dropped by 10 cents to 90 cents. So that is a downside to the seller in that regard. So the seller still makes money, still make the premium of 5 cents, but the value of his stock dropped by 10 cents. Let's look at the second scenario. The stock price of asset is the same as $1. You can see from this diagram here, the share price equals the closing price, which equals $1. So let's see what happened in that scenario. The buyer will not exercise his option and the contract will go worthless. Just like in the first scenario, why would the buyer want to buy at $1.15 when he can go to the market and purchase it at $1? So the buyer will not buy at $1.15 when the stock is selling for $1 in the market. The buyer loses the 5-cent premium paid to the seller, and the seller keeps that 5-cent premium. But in this scenario, the stock price remains unchanged, so the value of the stock is not affected in this scenario, and the seller is just going to keep that 5 cents. Okay, so let's look at the third scenario. The price of asset rose to 110. Okay, so when the price rose to 110, let's see what happened. You can see in this diagram as well. This is the price of the asset. It rose to 110, and this is the strike price, still 115. So the buyer will not exercise his option and the contract will go worthless. Yes, why would the buyer want to buy at 115, okay, when he can go to the market and purchase it for 110? So that will make no sense. So the buyer will not buy at 115 when he can buy at 110 in the market. The buyer loses the 5-cent premium paid to the seller. The seller will keep that 5-cent premium. But in this situation, the stock value increases by 10 cents, right? From $1 to 110. So the seller is going to gain 10 cents on the value of his stock. So the total gains for the seller in this regard is 5-cent premium and 10 cent increment in the value of the asset, making 15 cents profit in this scenario C. That is a win-win situation for the seller. So let's look at scenario 4. The price of asset rose to $1.30. Okay, and you can see from this illustration or the diagram here, you can see this is our strike price, but the price rose beyond the strike price and rose to $1.30. So let's see what happened. This makes the seller very, very happy, because the hopes and aspiration of the seller when he purchased this covered call is for the price of Nikola stock to rise beyond $1.15, the strike price. So, and that happened in this scenario. So the buyer will exercise his option. The buyer will buy the stock at 115 from the seller, and really will sell it in the market for 130. So the buyer profit is 130 minus 115, which is minus the premium that he paid as well, which is equal to 10 cents. So the buyer make 10 cents profit in this transaction. Now let's look into the seller. The seller will keep the 5-cent premium that he sold the contract for, and his stock value now increased from $1. Now he cannot go past this 115 because he already asked to purchase this stock for 115. So the price rose from $1 to 115. So the seller will the value of the stock of the asset will increase by 15 cents. So the total gain for the seller in this scenario is 5 cents, which is the premium, plus the increment in the value of the asset, which is 15 cents, and the seller will gain 20 cents. It's a win-win situation also for the seller in this regard, and also the buyer as well. But the only downside in this scenario is the seller limits its potential to earn the upside of increment in the value of the asset. Instead of pocketing the total of 30 cents here, he's only making 15 cents because of the call option rating. So if this call option were not written, the value of the asset will have gone from $1 to 130, and the seller will have made 30 cents gain in this transaction. So let's now look into the downside. So the downside is the seller misses the chance to attain the maximum profit upside in the stock value increase. So yes, instead of the seller to make a profit of 30 cents, which is from $1 to 30 cents, is only limiting his profit making potential to the strike price of $1.15. So the seller would have to make 0.30 plus the seller would have made 30 cents, which is from the value of the stock, plus the premium, which is 35 cents, will have been made by the seller, as opposed to the 20 cents that he made from the cover call that he has written. But this is actually a win-win situation for both the buyer and the seller if done right at a very, very good time. So this is the end of this presentation. Let me know what you feel in the comment section. Once again, subscribe to this channel, like and share this video. Until the next video, this is your favorite presenter, Dr. Samuel Adebayo. Thank you.